After going through the primitive sessions, in this session we will look into the rendering techniques and how initially we can apply the renders to our object that will look. Let us say this is our teapot which I would like to render, and here you can see the render setup and render frame window and render production. If you go to render production, directly you can get the output here with the prerequisite settings which you have made here. For example, if you go to render setup, here we have the dialog box where you can control the resolution or whatever you are looking for here, or you can have higher order output type like 70 mm, the Cinemax or PAL videos or SDTV videos and so on. So if you select a particular resolution and you can see the single, that means the current window will be rendered, and you can go to render. In this way you can apply this and you can save this render output as one image. And you have different rendering levels. If you see the realistic, shaded, hidden line, wireframes and different controls you have, that you can control from the options like the render setup. And this you can always do before proceeding to render, which will look in our independent sections of rendering. And you have the I-ray rendering also, which you can use. You have V-ray rendering, you have mental ray rendering, which are add-ons with 3D Studio Max, but by default the mental ray render will be the initial one which anybody can use. And you can change the background as well. You can go to rendering and environment and you can set the background colors. You can directly go to rendering and you can select the environment from here, and you can directly change here the background color. And if you want any particular color, that will be instantly updated, and this you can apply. And once you apply this and you go for the render, then this background will be assigned whatever you select. And in this particular session we'll look into a couple of projects and its working principle. And if you see this 3D model of table, which you can see here how to approach and create in 3D Studio Max. So we'll be creating an initial box, and after that we'll again create another box and we'll attach to it. Let us say I'll be creating this independently. I'll go to the box and initially you can create the box, and after that I'll go to Alt and center button and rotate this. I need to create exactly here. So what you can do is, if you go to box, you have a auto grid, you select the auto grid so that you can directly create with respect to this particular site, and you drag it, and as per your requirement you can directly set it wherever you need to fit it, and you can directly control its dimensions, locations properly by going to modify and put all the parameters independently. After that you create another box here and you do a copy, and once you do the copy instances, that will be copied, and then again another piece you can create here just like that. For example, if I'll rotate here and you create a particular instance, go to the box, and when you create the box and you give it depth and press the shift key and put the Z direction as the copy direction, and you drag it and you release it, and you can give the numbers as 2. In this way you can create the numbers as well. Just like that, here I can create the required panel here, and you can go for the extrude. So in this way, the basic building item which you would like to have, you can do it always, and you can adjust the matching points properly. So for adjusting the matching points, you can always use snap. You can see here the snap. If you go to the snap, and you can have different snap control. If you go to right click, I need to have the vertices. So this vertices you can directly move and you can adjust it. This vertices you can play around. So if you see this particular object where the vertices you have to allocate properly, this you can directly match it, and with different views you can see this how it exactly it has to match. So this particular point I will be matching to this particular point, and so on. So if you match a particular point, just you drag it and it matches with that point. Just like that, this all the panels has to be with the proper height and locations that you can do through the independent views. So this control is pretty tedious if you directly do it. So you use the multi viewports so that you can align this properly with very ease and comfortableness. So you can go to grid and switch off it so that you can view what exactly you want to do. So I am looking for this 3 options, so I'll just switch off the snap. I select this 3 by control and I will move to the proper locations here, let us say, and again I will move to this side, right, and from other side you can see it is far away from here. So I can put directly cursor here and drag it and allocate this properly. So from different sides you can have the locations and adjustment properly. I move it this side so that this will be at the proper locations. Just like that, if you see this particular view, here also you can see this is far away, and this also you can have at the proper locations where exactly you want to have. So if you see this particular object, you can have the control also. You can see it is far away. So this directly you can join it, and independently you can position this with the proper locations. From this side you can clearly see that you have to allocate this with this proper size, and here I have to allocate. So in this way you can directly allocate your objects from different viewports, and you can work here or independently anywhere so that you can adjust your locations and also the orientations properly. So just like that you can have your object which you are looking for, and then you can have your top rest, and in this way you can create the sphere and merge it here. So fundamentally you have to use this particular project to just understand the basic modeling technique. In our coming lecture I will be explaining about the other projects and how you can create the chairs. Thank you.